Hey everybody, what's going on, and welcome to Guns N' Roses Central, and today we're talking about one of your favorite albums of all time. I'm talking about the Spaghetti Incident. So in this video we're going to talk about 5 things you didn't know about the Spaghetti Incident. So number 1, Slash originally wanted to tour on the record. So in an interview that Slash did in 1995 with Gilby Clarke promoting Slash's Snake Pit, he talked about how he wanted to actually tour on the Spaghetti Incident, but change it up from how Guns had done the tours for the Use Your Illusion albums. He wanted to just do a small club tour, and that was basically it. He said that Axl had no interest in doing it, so the idea was not pursued. Number 2, the Spaghetti Incident refers to a food fight between the band members. This was confirmed by Slash as well as Duff. Duff McKagan said he was at the Steven Adler deposition back in the early 90s, and the lawyer questioning him asked him about the Spaghetti Incident, to which Duff thought it would be a great idea for an album title. And even in the making of the Estranged video, when you're actually seeing Axl and Slash talking with Robert John, you can see them discussing the actual album title. And even before Guns N' Roses revealed what the album title meant, Slash stated in an interview that the band received many letters from fans asking what the title meant, or many fans would often give their take on what the title meant. Now, there was even a theory from People magazine which said that Slash was going out with a porno chick, probably referring to Savannah, and they said, "I stuffed spaghetti in her in public." Can you imagine the time it would take to do that, Slash said. Number 3, while many people may know that Charles Manson was covered on the Spaghetti Incident, and there was a whole controversy surrounding the inclusion of that song, many people may not know that in 1994, Axl Rose released a statement to Q magazine giving his take on the controversy, and he revealed how he actually heard the song. So he said, oddly enough, one of the things we do up at my house is have Name That Artist contest where we play obscure songs and everyone tries to name the artist. My brother Stuart found Look at Your Game Girl at a large record store chain, and needless to say, he won that round. Personally, I liked the lyrics and the melody of the song. Hearing it shocked me, and I thought there might be other people who would want to hear it. I like the words because to me it's about a woman who has thrown things away. She thinks that she's gaining love, but basically she's gaining sadness. It's very fitting for a personal situation I happen to be in. He was probably referring to his relationship with Stephanie Seymour. The song talks about how the girl is insane and playing a mad game. I felt that it was ironic that such a song was recorded by Charles Manson, someone who should know the inner intricacies of madness. In the same statement, Axl also revealed what he would be doing with his publishing royalties from the song. He said, "It is my understanding that the song was written by Dennis Wilson. To what extent Charles Manson is involved in the publishing, I'm not aware. However, I'm donating all my personal profits from having that song on our album to a charity, an environmental group to help protect wildlife and our oceans. In our video for Estranged, which will be the last video for the Use Your Illusion albums, we use dolphins, and this is my way of giving something back to the dolphin, which are endangered and threatened with extinction." Number 4, a number of the artists who were covered on the Spaghetti Incident actually made public statements on their thoughts of being included on the Spaghetti Incident. So Chris Cornell did an interview where he was asked about what he thought about Guns N' Roses covering the song Big Dumb Sex on the album. So Cornell seemed a bit embarrassed by it, but was pleased that Guns N' Roses represented the band on the Spaghetti Incident. He said, "I thought that was cool." He said quickly, "I think we were definitely the youngest band on that record besides Guns N' Roses, which is pretty great." Slash was doing an interview around the same time, and he actually asked what Chris Cornell had to say. He said, "I have not talked to him. We never did talk to them about doing it. It was one of those things that was just sort of spontaneous when we were in the studio, and it just sounded good. Out of all the bands that we played with during the Use Your Illusion tour, Soundgarden was one of the coolest, one of the most personable and down-to-earth bands that we play with, so I was just happy to represent them all and pay homage to them in the first place, but I did wonder what they might think when they heard it." Slash did reveal that he did get some feedback from some of the other acts on the album whose work Guns had actually reinterpreted. He said he talked to Iggy Pop. He said Iggy knew about it beforehand. "I talk to Iggy all the time anyways. He's a good friend and he's happy that we were doing anything in the first place, so that was cool." He said he also talked to Steve Jones of the Sex Pistols, and of course he was just like, "Well, when's it coming out? When's my first check?" He was happy with it. We also had the Damned's David Vanian also comment on Guns N' Roses covering the song New Rose. While he wasn't really a fan of the actual cover version, we did say some pretty complimentary things towards Guns N' Roses. He said, "It's not really my cup of tea because they knocked all the life out of it by making it sound as though it had been played to a click track. I think that all of the spontaneity had gone out of it, but they obviously love the song and that's great. They're a good band with a great guitar, so what can you say? If they had taken the song and completely redone it in a totally different way, then perhaps it would have been more interesting." And then Cheetah Chrome of the Dead Boys was interviewed, and he was asked, "Did you think Guns N' Roses did a good version of Ain't It Fun? It certainly opened up your music to a whole new audience." To which he responded, "I think they did a great version. It struck me how close they kept to the original. That's a tough song to sing. You need to have been through a bit to pull it off, and they pulled it off." Number 4, there was a number of songs that Guns N' Roses either recorded or wanted to record but just never put them on the Spaghetti Incident. So in an interview that Slash did back in 1994, he was asked, "You recorded a version of the Stooges Down on the Street, what happened to that?" To which Slash responded, "Well, we never put vocals on it. There's also a version of the other song. We did a Hanoi Rocks tune as well, referring to beer and a cigarette." He said with both of those, the basic tracks are done. But we never did any vocals on them. We decided not to do a Hanoi Rocks song because we didn't want to give Andy McCoy the money, who was a guitarist for Hanoi Rocks. He said then we didn't do Down on the Street because raw power just sounded cooler. In the same interview, Slash also revealed that Duff wanted to include a Ramones song on the Spaghetti Incident or something by the Canadian punk band DOA. Number 5, to actually commemorate the release of the Spaghetti Incident, there were a bunch of promo items released alongside the album. So some of these you can find on eBay for, pretty cheap, and some of them go as high as a couple $100 at least. So one of them was an actual radio tuner, which you guys see here. One of them was an actual can with the Spaghetti Incident shown on the actual label, and that included an album, a poster, as well as this really ugly t-shirt. And then they were actually selling food items with the Spaghetti Incident written on them in Europe as well. So that is 5 things you didn't know about the Spaghetti Incident, or 5 things you may have not known. And the last thing I'm going to leave you guys with is the cipher on the actual front cover of the Spaghetti Incident. So let's call this 6 things you may not know about the Spaghetti Incident. So there's actually a Zodiac Killer cipher on the front cover, and it wasn't cracked until 2006. So it took about 13 years, and people were finally able to crack it, and it reads "fuck 'em all." And one can probably guess that it was Axl's idea, which it was. Duff was interviewed when he was meeting fans with Velvet Revolver, and Duff didn't even know what it meant. He said Axl wanted to put it on the album. So that does it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the contents of the video. Be sure to subscribe if you love Guns N' Roses as much as I do and you want to see more videos like this. And be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. The links to my social media channels are down below. Thanks for watching and have yourself a good one.